Gets me every time.
Thank you for joining us. We are celebrating 2 years on Blue Pearl, and we are in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and it's hot as blazes. Well, today the humidity was low. It was only about 55%, but yesterday it was 90 degrees and 90%. As soon as you tie your shoes, you've worked up a sweat. We're in a slip having a bunch of work done, and we're mixing in some good times also. So cheers to 2 years.
Cheers to 2 years. And cheers to you for being here.
Well, one thing that should be taken into account when you're looking at our lives is that we bought a 40-year-old boat. Okay, it was 38-year-old when we got it. The fellow that we bought it from, he didn't do any maintenance for the prior couple of years because it was the middle of COVID. He used to charter, and COVID shut his charter business down, so he sat in La Paz at a slip for 2 years at least before we walked on the boat to have a look at it. And we've been doing a lot of repair work. We got a lot of systems. We have 5 air conditioning units, a washing machine, dishwasher, bar refrigerator, 130 horse diesel engine. We have a water maker. We have a dive compressor, lots of plumbing, lots of electrical, lots of things to go wrong on a boat this big and this old. So if money is no object, you could probably get a fresher boat, but I don't think that's going to solve all the problems.
The term on buying any boat is there's always something broken, you just don't know what it is yet. And I mean, we just heard a story just a few days ago about someone who bought a $2 million boat and had many issues with the boat. And it was a new boat. Just saying that you're going to buy a new boat because you've got loads of money, which is what it takes to buy a new boat, does not mean you're gonna get away from not having any issues. But we chose, getting into this, we chose to do this debt-free. And that was a big goal for us. So we came in with a budget, and we stuck to that budget. And we still bought our dream boat. It's just a little older than what we had intended.
This is our boat, free and clear. She's an oldie but a goodie. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Over the last 2 years, we've done a lot of work, and it's imperative that you know your boat. Mm-hmm. And so that forced us to learn our boat. I mean, I don't know if there's an inch that I haven't seen here at this point or worked on. It's pretty important that if you're a jack of all trades before you buy a boat, you need to know carpentry work and plumbing and electrical and
mechanical,
painting and mechanical,
sewing,
and be physical. Even with a brand new boat, you have lots of maintenance ongoing. Even if you're sitting at a slip, even here, we have to scrape our bottom or have our bottom scraped every 3 weeks because the water's so warm and the barnacles and the algae is growing like overnight. It's incredible. I had no idea that was a fact with boats before I bought one. Anyway, we rambled. That was why don't you buy a new boat? Long answer to a short question. Is this boat too much for 2 people?
Nope, absolutely not. I think it's perfect for 2 people. We handle this boat, I think, quite well. We've had all 4 sails out many times, just the 2 of us.
It helps with another person. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more easy. It's a lot easier to have a 3rd person to help with the sail. We're like a Swiss watch. She takes the helm and I do the sail work, and it works. We're very aware of our surroundings and the weather at all times, so we haven't been surprised about anything, and it's been working good. What's our previous sailing experience? Well, for us, not that extensive really, but I lived in Redding, and I joined a club in San Francisco Bay called Club Nautique, and I traversed, what did we do? A couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before I got done with my certifications, I got basic cruising, basic keeled boat, bare boat, and coastal navigation certifications by U.S. Sailing. We chartered quite a bit down there in San Francisco, had a great time.
We sure did.
I had a formal education in San Francisco, sailing-wise, and that's what got us started. How do we make money sailing? Well, we don't make any money sailing. I'm retired, so I have a decent pension, and I was an engineer for 30 years in Redding, California. She does all this work on YouTube for selfish reasons, basically for us and for our family, keep in touch, and believe it or not, we enjoy going back and looking at them ourselves. So that's what they're for mainly. And if somebody else enjoys them, all the better. Makes us feel good when we hear from people that are excited about watching our videos. So we don't have Patreon, we don't have buy me a beer or buy me a cup of coffee or any of that.
We chose not to do any of that because I didn't want to feel obligated and make this become a job. I wanted to love it as much as I have been loving it. And I felt like if I started making money off of it, the joy would be gone, and And I love it so much, I didn't want that to go away. So we feel very blessed and fortunate with living off of retirement, being able to stay within our budget and our means to continue living this very carefree and yet also quite expensive life.
Because of all of the recent upgrades we've done to it. Everything from a dishwasher to a washing machine to both refrigeration units.
A stove in my kitchen.
Yep, brand new stove.
Bar refrigerator.
Bar reefer. And now we're looking at a new generator happening also. So that's pretty much everything except the water maker and the dive compressor that we had both had rebuilt just a year and a half ago in La Paz. Clay Spence, Ken Feltman, Stephen Nolan, and Norman Cyril all mentioned the possibility of electrolysis issue when they saw our last washing machine disintegrate. So yeah, that was a pretty big shock there. It may have been electrolysis because this boat was just a dock queen for the 2 years prior to us purchasing the boat. When we bought it, we immediately put her on the hard and the zincs were shot, and we've had good zincs ever since. Dina said so. I wondered if the appliances that were replacing our original. The washing machine when we bought her was 5 years old at that point, so we're practically lucky that we got 2 more years out of it.
The appliances that we've redone, no, they are not original. To our knowledge, none of them are original.
Candace H., how often are you supposed to have your sails examined? I don't know. We just took ours in because
we noticed a little thread here, a little thread there, and then pretty soon lots of thread was hanging, and it was like, oh boy.
I don't know that there's actually a date you should have your sails inspected. It's probably just about, just a visual. Whenever you're sailing, you just notice that sort of thing, and it depends on how much you do sail.
It also depends on how well your sails are protected. I didn't understand how important it was to have some umbrella wrapped around your sails when not in use. I thought the stack packs that we had installed while we were on the hard in La Paz was to make the sails go up and down easier. I honestly had no idea that it was to protect the sails.
That's why on the head sails, the last couple of feet is sunbrella, so that when you wrap it up, it is covered from the sun and protected. They're expensive. We had no idea. We got a quote for $45,000 for sails on this boat. $45,000 for 4 sails. Now we're going to take care of them. We just spent $6,000 having 2 head sails repaired. Joe Nunez asked if we had checked the used sail sites. We are in the market for a downwind sail for sure. We'd love to have one, except they're so doggone expensive. But no, we didn't really, look at any used sails.
Yeah, so we just opted to have these repaired for now. We're probably good for many years to come with these sails. They won't last, obviously, nowhere near as long as a brand new sail would, but right now, with as much money as we're pouring into this boat, we felt it was best just to have these renewed. And they're in excellent shape now, and we're very excited to get out sailing.
Stephen Nolan asks, what cell service provider we use here in Mexico and what health insurance we use?
When we first got down here to Mexico, we were on Verizon, but I did hear that T-Mobile has better service in Mexico, so we switched to T-Mobile. They do limit you, depending on the plan that you're on, to 5 gigs of data per month, which is very, very little data. But we have Starlink on our boat, so I don't, as long as we're on our boat, I'm using Wi-Fi. When we're in town, I limit the internet use on our cell phones, but T-Mobile in general works very good here in Mexico. As for health insurance, we have none here in Mexico. We're pretty close to the border, so if anything major happens, we could always get home pretty easily. But also there's a lot of really good medical care here that can be very reasonable. Also on board we have a very extensive first aid kit. So if you ever get cut, honey, I'd be happy to do some stitches for you. Life on a sailboat is very interesting and different from living on land in many ways. Some of the things to think about when you buy a boat and live on the ocean is groceries. When you go into town to get groceries, you're doing it by foot or Uber or a taxi or whatever kind of transportation you can find after you've ridden your dinghy to shore. And then you got to go find a grocery store, and they may or may not have your favorite foods. Every town is different, and you're always on the lookout for how to stock your boat. Same thing with laundry. If you don't have a washing machine on board, you have to go find a laundromat. You have to prepare to live tiny. We live in a 65-foot boat. It's a big boat, but it's also tiny compared to many homes. You don't just get to walk off the boat and go for a walk. For us who love life at anchor, you have to take the dinghy to shore to go for that walk. If you have dogs, you're going to have a grass mat of some sort so that they have a place to go to the bathroom, and then you get to clean up that grass mat. Aside from systems in the boat breaking down, there's maintenance daily. You're constantly checking systems. A boat, they make so many different sounds, and you're always on the lookout for what that new sound was that you just heard. Eventually you start memorizing all of the sounds.
Eventually you know all the sounds, and
yeah.
If there's something that's different, then you know it's different.
It's different. Something just happened, and then you got to go find that thing that just happened. You've got to learn to conserve water and conserve power.
Power management is very important. It's one of the constant tasks that you're going to be aware of living on a boat.
You have to love the person that you're with a lot, because you're really close a lot.
Or put up with them.
Yeah, I guess some people could put up with them. Thankfully, I love the person that I'm hanging out with. Sometimes I have to put up with you.
You better enjoy your spouse, because
there's
nowhere to go.
Nope, there's nowhere to go. You're in a tiny space. You are always around one another. I mean, there's no one leaving for work 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You are 24/7 with each other. It takes teamwork to survive on a boat. It really does. It takes both people to make the boat life work. Because if one person's not enjoying it, neither person will enjoy it. And there's been some times, don't get me wrong, there's been some times where I'm at my wit's end and I can't continue on. And he gets me through it, and vice versa. So it truly does take a teamwork to get through some pretty tough days.
Have to be, first of all, compatible, but tolerant too, and loving, even at the worst times.
The boating community is very well known as being very helpful. You can be at an anchorage with one other boat, and 9 times out of 10, they are more than happy to come help you with whatever it is that you're in need of.
Oh yeah, everybody helps everybody.
Everybody helps everybody, and whether it's a part that they might someday need, but you need today, we have never been turned down. It's amazing, the boating community that comes forward to help one another. Even locals too. You know, when they see you in need, they'll come running, and that's pretty amazing.
It's a good group. We've had a pretty wide variety of rodents on this boat.
Mice, rats, bats, iguanas, birds.
Flies and bees.
Yikes. No-see-ums and cockroaches. Something to always be ready.
Cucarachas, 2 inches long. No kidding. And we had no idea they flew. They fly. Man, you see that thing at night. Makes your skin crawl, tell you what.
The greatest lows on a boat is when everything breaks, and that's the experience that we've had. There's only been a few really bad days on this boat, and it's because multiple things were broken at the same time, and it was exhausting and scary.
Yeah, it's doable when it's one at a time, but if it's multiple systems that are broken at the same time, it's just kind of a compounded factor, and it's just a total drag, and you're just asking yourself, what in the world am I doing on this boat still? You got really very few choices. You just got to power through it and cowboy up and solve the problem. I had a boss one time that liked to say, you just have to separate the pepper from the fly poop. We just have to realize what the priorities are or not.
Yeah, it's true. There's times you just really want to give it up, but then you remember all the good times. And there's been some really good times. The highs on a boat are so high. They're incredible. They are like nothing you've ever experienced. At least that's what I feel. We've been married for 18 years and we've been to 19 countries. We've had so much adventure in our life. And I can still say that living on a boat has some of the greatest experiences that I have ever felt. Of seeing something that I never imagined possible, like dolphins at your bow. That is one of the most incredible things. Whales breaching, and sometimes right near your boat.
Yeah, 50-ton whale just 50 feet away, coming completely out of the water.
Catching fish, fresh caught meals, unbelievable.
you know, the highs just seem to outweigh the lows because they're so high, and
Yes.
it's just fantastic. I mean, it's just a thing that you could never experience living on land. Seeing the world from the water is like just, you can't be explained, really.
The sunsets, the sunrises are somehow so much more epic out here than they are from land. I don't know how to explain it, but they're incredible. Arriving to your own island or your own beach, your own bay,
Oh yeah.
all alone, and no one can get there except for they have a boat. And,
Especially in Sea of Cortez.
oh,
You know, we're over there, we've got an entire bay to ourselves, and we can look down and see our anchor chain 20 or 30 feet on the sandy bottom. It's incredible, the visibility. And then the fish are just off the chart. Go down there and either scuba dive or snorkel or free dive, whatever. And it's just, it's like,
it can't be explained. You just got to do it. It's out of this world.
it's a pretty surreal experience, really. I mean, the videos that you see on the YouTube, you know, can't even explain how completely blissful it is at times living on the water. When we bought the boat, we decided we were going to take this 1 year at a time. So the deal was that we would both have to agree that, okay, we're going to do 1 more year.
So we've done 2 years, and now the question is,
2 years.
do we want to go a third year?
Do we want to go third year?
I say yes. How about you?
Sure, we probably should, since we got a lot of new stuff on the boat and I want to start using it. Now, we have more to see. In fact, we became so familiar with the Sea of Cortez, we want to go back to the clear water. We're in the Pacific right now, and it's like a little underwhelming when you can't see 10 feet into the water. The landscape down here is beautiful. It's just a jungle, it's palm trees, it's coconut palms, which is my favorite palm tree. The people are great, the water is great, just not clear. We're looking forward to going back to the Sea of Cortez and going to all the places that we became familiar with over the last 2 years, revisit them, go to all our favorite diving locations, and really do it right, and just have fun, visit some people. One of the things that we have really enjoyed in this particular last 2 years is the people that we've met. We've just grown to love.
I truly believe we're living the dream.
Haha, I'm happy to hear that.
And there's no other place I'd rather be than right here with you.
Oh, that's awesome. There's a lot to this life. It's not for everybody.
No.
But so far, it's for us. And so we're agreed to go 1 more year.
Okay.
Here's to year 3.
Year 3.
Cheers.
Cheers to y'all. Hot champagne.
It's getting hot. Wow. Yeah.
Thank you for your comments, your encouragement, your love, support. I think there's been many times that I would have given up my YouTube channel, honestly, if it wasn't for all of the love and support and encouragement that we receive every time I upload a video.
She digs the loving comments and the hearts and the likes and whatever else. It really keeps her going. So
I just really appreciate all the love.
cheers.
Cheers.
Love you, hon.